damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
One choice, multiple styles. All big, all unique.
Hey, what's up?
How far with your internship?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for interns. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
After you answer a line, sing.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download their app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
Now let me tell you why you should choose Safari Valley as your conference destination.
The new conference building combines modern amenities with the tranquility of nature, providing the perfect backdrop for your next seminar and corporate retreat.
The only conference destination with so many activities, you don't have to travel to visit your tennis club, the gym, or the stables. They have it all.
Enjoy this rooftop viewing deck, basking in the sunlight with the sight of wild animals roaming freely in their natural habitat.
At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
It's a unique experience that sparks creativity and rejuvenates the mind.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Exodus Moringa capsules and Exodus dandelion capsules. Efi Exodus elusuyenum lebe bua wa pomodem. Emu bia wo benya no betimi aboa nanso se wonye to no a wo betimi anom abo lebe bua papa. Se wonnom Exodus Moringa capsules ne Exodus dandelion capsules. Ebua mamoja di efusani yu. Na afei ebusi wo immune system no na kwatia yarewa ahodo. Minim ye se nipa dodo na nim dia Moringa etimi ye. Na dandelion so yenim. Enu nti me nkasa bebre. Enye mma apemfo. Ana abatan a oma enifo. Ana abofra onya emfidu. Exodus ehwa dance die dos.
In a fast-growing urban environment like Accra, safety is as important as the air that we breathe. Hear the real stories from those who now feel safe like never before with Response 1.
One night, I heard the glass shattering. Armed robbers had broken in. Before I could react, the alarm blared and the lights flashed, and Response 1 was already on their way. Within minutes, the security was at my door and the armed robbers had fled. I never want to be that scared again. And now I know with Response 1, I never will.
Don't wait for tragedy to strike. Protect your home with Response 1's monitored alarm system and our theft protection guarantee. Immediate response, real protection. Response 1, stay connected, stay protected.
Ago Ganaman, within some defrikua, a Jumakuan chain and mammo. Yet the qua mixture by Muji to Mukama, after the Fofraba, qua plus mixture and a qua empty mixture. Qua mixture eboa, amonipidria huadeno, na qua plus mixture, into a bow immune system for qua mixture and the qua plus mixture for boa pumude. Afenso, yet the malaria drop at a abbejaso, the qua empty mixture. Kwa mixture, kwa plus mixture, and kwa empty mixture, and ye mapping for a mamma colano for, and in cola, umundi in fear duminu. She say, why a test? I chese o malaria more to be a wumujimu, and sana wafa kwa empty mixture, upedudu tour. Frequa, a jumekuno, a war, 0244 726611, and 059 165 5778. FDA, Aji, a gradient cratui at all.
Hello. My name is Roland Walker. I'm here at Coastal Park. It's one of the many courts belonging to estate masters, and they are into service plots, property management, and luxury homes. And just in case you want to make that decision to invest into a landed property, estate masters is the right choice to make. If it is from an indenture, a site plan, you want it also barcoded, all is available. You might have heard about Chopoli. It's where we have the next cottage of estate masters. It is not only one of the thriving, but the most inviting landed property sites for you also to invest in. We encourage you, do invest in the next cottage at Chopoli. It is just close to the yet to be demarcated airport. That also will be a valuable property for you to invest in.
Cratchy, unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ba uye denwa.
Oh, Mr. Yamfani come and me buru.
Mami go buru. Ni atele be ko bra. Mumi Yamfani ko Dr. Ba ho.
Dr. Ba no ya de.
Bra, se pa no mpemu adwuma sasabro sro Dr. Ba oye.
Say ni kemi kwa na meka. Oh no mpemu ni mdi onu na ye expect nyaza afo no. O akra eni kumasi no mpemu expect yen kan kire.
Gone were the days, one had to use or his or her savings or break the bank to own a home in Ghana. Tesprom Estates Limited, a leading property development company, is turning people's dreams into reality. The company has introduced a pioneering concept, Build Now Pay Later, offering a unique payment plan that spans 15 years. This innovative approach has made it possible for many Ghanaians to own their dream homes without breaking the bank. At Tesprom Estates Limited, we are dedicated to delivering exceptional quality and customer satisfaction in all aspects of our business. Our commitment is reflected in how we build to suit your preference, which prioritize excellence, integrity, and customer centricity. Our pricing is cost-effective. You can visit our office at the Old Melcom, Achimota, Accra to register at a fee of 300 Ghana cedis or call us for more information. Contact us now.
One choice, multiple styles. All big, all unique.
Auntie Esi. Nada na wonu wata amoba me wa monima ye busasa.
Auntie Ama. Pacho, me be nya school mu kwan. Eye university. Na sika na 2005. Anya dia menya. Ti mayi me ntoma sama de bro na pepi kakra. No the farmer me.
O enya su mensu fantoma ne kotofi. Enti won te se John Dramani Mahama. Ene NDC for say. Se nyame ya adom na Ghana for to abama na. Wo ba Aba University bia, Technical University, College of Education, Nursing Training, woman nyina academic fees for first year. Eye free, no stress.
Adama ujiti. Akadwen, another matter dende.
Auntie Esi. She, ebiem. Wo say, enka na ebosia na obo wo ma, omo to school so no. Se na obo ne ba ko a, se wo so obesi ho. E dia ma o ma. Almost was one. And Mr. John Mahama. Ye chami so mu kra ne say. Ye nua no ma Omo did them sabi bread yasa. Omo ko school for no. Wase wo mu nyina wo ba. Eye free.
Ane Sioma.
Yay.
And come in Konanka na ye 7 December. Nanka ya tsu aba na my papa Mahama. I'm na be your president.
Hwe wasit ne moto aba pa. E de sakra ya papa beba wa brabo mu. To aba ma John Mahama ne NDC.
What is Dr. Bawumia's strongest selling point?
What is the biggest problem that we have had in this country?
Prices, goods, services, demand, supply, electricity, school, roads.
Cost of living.
Cost of living, too high.
Now, I'm happy that you say that, Paul, because really, the biggest problem we've had in this country, as far as many of us are concerned, is the issues that you are talking about. Cost of living. Ever rising cost of living, prices, and so attendant hardship, business is not thriving. All of these things turn on one thing: the value of the currency. So our economy sits on the dollar, and any time the price of the dollar changes, prices in the economy change. That's how it's been. So that really has been the biggest issue in this. And when you track from when we started the liberal economy, and you see the value of the dollar, and you track the cost of living, it's almost 1-to-1. So Bawumia's biggest selling point is his vision to deal with the dollar, or the value of the city. And when you look at the program that he's had, I mean, there is no other program from any candidate that comes anywhere near Bawumia's plans to stabilize the city and stabilize the macro economy. Anybody who does business will tell you that if the macro situation is unstable, you cannot have a good business because your cost will constantly rise. Your cost of water, what we use to treat water to pipe to you, those ingredients are bought with dollar. The cost of electricity, the gas and the fuel that we use to burn to fuel electricity are all imported. Transport, food, even the woman selling what do you call it, coffee broke man. That coffee, the plantain has to be transported. So when the price of the dollar changes and it affects transportation, it will affect the price of coffee broke man. It will affect school fees. So our historic economic problem has been how to hold the value of the city. And when you look at Bawumia's plans, that he's going to treat the fiscal imbalance, that we've been spending more than we earn, and that contributes to the weakening of the city. He's going to do that by taking a lot of expenditure from the public purse onto the private sector. You look at roads, for example. There's no reason why we should be putting public money into the commercial roads. Accra Kumasi is a highly commercial road, which private sector with the right arrangements can be attracted to put in a 6-lane or a 4-lane and toll it to get their money back because of the volume of traffic. Accra Takrady the same. Look at the state of the road. If we put in the right arrangements, private people will come in, build a 6-lane Accra to Takrady and toll it. Same for Aflao and so on. So all the public expenditure that can be done by the private sector because they can get their return. It will be shifted to the private sector. And that's going to take, by rough estimate, about 30 billion cedis off the public purse. Also, the other side of fiscal imbalance is to increase your revenue. His plans for increasing revenue are the best. Everybody is saying, yes, we would increase the tax net and expand the tax net, but they don't tell us how. Bawumia is saying that with the Ghana card, you now have about 18 million people who can be identified because they have Ghana card. And now your Ghana card is also your tax identification number. So you cannot be identified for taxation. So about 4 million people like yourself who are in formal employment, you pay direct taxes. The rest cannot be identified. They don't pay direct taxes. So 13 million people roughly are outside the tax bracket. But with the Ghana card now, they can be identified. Now, you are not going to do any complex tax on them, just a flat rate, 50 cedis or 100 cedis a month. And they can pay on their phones, and they get their receipts on their phones. And that shows that they are also paying taxes, and whatever benefits comes with it, they become eligible. So you are going to have, out of the 13 million people outside the tax bracket, if you take 2 million or 3 million to be students who are above 18, secondary schools and universities, you are looking at a cool 10 million people who would be who can pay 100 cedis or 50 cedis a month. That's why he's able to say that I'll take off VAT and I'll take off betting tax, because we are going to increase the tax net so much, and there'll be so much inflow, and it will be what you are going to pay and the mode of payment will be so convenient for everybody that people will come into the tax bracket and pay every month. And that is going to shore up government revenue. And the removal of huge expenditure to the private sector will also reduce government expenditure. And this is the most credible program for achieving fiscal balance. Because the fiscal, you heard what?
So government is not going to be doing infrastructure?
We are not going to do commercial infrastructure. That's infrastructure. I mean, the road in front of my house.
So like building an airport, for instance, very commercial.
Building an airport.
Or building another terminal at the airport.
Another terminal.
You can have a private sector to build another terminal at the airport.
And they run it.
And then they run it and take their revenue. And the planes come and land there and they pay them.
Even school dormitories. I mean, look at a model is what is happening at the University of Ghana. Now, the private hostels, I am sure, are bigger than the public hostels.
Than the original,
the traditional Legon Hall, Commonwealth. The private hostels. Because,
and they are still building.
Because a process was put in place that made it attractive for private people to put in hostels. So now Legon's population is about 40,000. You know, when I was at Legon, the whole population was 5,000.
You're right.
Because we were limited to Volta Hall, Legon Hall.
There was no way government could have matched up that expenditure.
No.
Absolutely no way.
It's that same model. And when you go to some of these places with all these fantastic roads, they're all private sector. And you go a little bit. Look, can you imagine if you can have a 6-lane to Kumasi and you pay toll of, say, 50 cedis?
But they are doing it now. They are doing the Kumasi now.
Yes,
on
but
the back
how
of
many years
government.
has it taken?
A long time.
Yeah, and every, you know.
But they say they are going to put the tolls on, and people are resisting, but they say they're going to put it on.
But we are going to just lift all of that from public expenditure, because all of those things contribute to the imbalance.
And also, you can use your Ghana card to pass through the toll, and the bill will come to your phone.
The tolling too is going to be digital. So
the bill will come to your mobile money.
This business of going to queue for 40 minutes to pay a 50 peso toll.
So you show your Ghana card, you're gone.
You're gone.
It knows you.
You're gone. You're gone. So that plan to reduce expenditure and to increase government revenue is the best chance that we have to achieve fiscal balance. And when you achieve fiscal balance, it makes your currency strong. It's also going to back the currency with gold, because gold is also money. Gold is something that you can also sell, a commodity.
But the question for Dr. Bawumia really is that all of these things, he should do it now. He's vice president.
Some of them are being done now, like the Credit Reference Bureau. They are being set up now, and I'm sure in the next few weeks he's going to launch the Credit Reference Bureau. Some of them are being done now, as we speak. Some of them, you need a totally different atmosphere. You know, so he cannot remove VAT now, for example, because
it's a parliamentary process.
That is not even the policy of the government.
But it's a parliamentary process.
Yes,
it's difficult.
Yes, and he has to go there. You know, so the things that can be done now, some of them are being done now. The majority of the plans that he has, he needs executive power. He needs full executive power. So this.
So the things that he's doing, just to be sure about the difference between Bawumia and Akufo-Addo, the things that he's doing, he's able to do them now. Is it because it is coming on the back of Akufo-Addo having laid the foundation of education seems okay, industries have started, and therefore on the back of that he can move to the next level?
Yes, absolutely. And every time he speaks, he starts from the Akufo-Addo programs and the achievements on the ground before he builds on. Everywhere he goes, that's where he starts. He talks about free SHS, he talks about the digitalization, the changes that have come, he talks about the roads. I'm sure you listen to him.
Yes,
so he starts from there.
But the question of his critics always is that Bawumia says that he should do it, he can do this, he should do it right now. He's president, he's been vice president for 4 years, 8 years.
Mahama was president, wasn't he?
He was, and vice president.
When he was president in 2016, he had a manifesto that was saying what he was going to do if he got back into power in 2017. He didn't ask himself, why didn't he do the things he said he would do in 2017? Because he was president. He had executive power. So
I get your point.
That question that and it's usually the NDC people who make it, that point would not help them, because it applies even in a worse scale to Mahama, because he was president. And yet, still, even as president,
you're saying that if the NDC query were to stand, and incumbents cannot have a manifesto.
Yeah.
But everywhere in the world, incumbents have manifestos. They
They
say what they are going to do. And the question will be, why haven't you done it now?
And Bawumia really is not an incumbent. The incumbent is Akufo-Addo.
I'll come back to that.
Now let me finish with this gold. Let me finish. You see, now gold is also money. Gold is like the dollar. You see, and we have it in abundance. So this idea of taking the gold to back the city, how it's never occurred to our leaders, I can't understand. But Bawumia is saying that one of the key things that he's going to do is take the gold, refine it to a certain standard, so it can be used to back the city. Well, recently, one of these big multinational companies had about 3 billion cedis that they needed to change to dollars to send to their shareholders and to pay for some of their purchases and so on. This is just a couple of months ago. Can you imagine if they had gone into the market with 3 billion cedis to buy the dollar? The price would have just gone through the roof. They were offered gold to the value of 3 billion cedis, and they took it and went and sold it, and takes the pressure away from the city. This is one.
So those would have been worse than 16.
Well, if somebody had $3 billion to take to the market to buy dollar, what do you think would have happened to the dollar or the cedi? So this is a clear example of how we can use gold to back the currency. And when you go to some of these countries with major...
But these things you are saying, they are not difficult. If I'm John Mahama, I can implement them too. There's no problem.
Wow.
Why should anybody then vote for Bawumia because of these are things
have you heard
do?
John Mahama talk about it?
He hasn't, but he can implement them.
Yeah, but have you heard him talk about it? He hasn't got the idea. If anybody comes and they want to do it, then they are taking the idea from Bawumia. But why would you go to somebody who will be a duplicate as against the original, the person who has the original idea? And so that is going to be a game changer. Now, what are the things that we use the dollar to buy? Many of these things that we use dollar to buy, chicken, rice, chocolate, and so on. There's going to be aggressive import substitution. More focus, not spread too much. Focus on 6-7 items, big ticket items that are major imports into this country, and make sure we produce
that. Should have been done now. That should have been done by now, because in 2001, when you were minister, we had this problem. We could have had this conversation then. We said 400 million at that time. Now it's 800 million.
Some progress is being made. Do you
in the poultry?
Do you know tiles Floor tiles.
Floor tiles, yeah.
We are now doing a lot of floor tiles in this country.
I can believe that.
And it's cut down
the price.
The dollar that we used to import.
Oh, we have
tiles.
factories here that are doing
factories here doing
ceramic factories.
Wonderful tiles. I'll let them send you some.
Oh, I see.
When you see them and they tell you they are made in Ghana, you won't believe. And it's cut down the importation of tiles. Even rice importation. We've cut it down by 40%.
Rice?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we had an aggressive East Ghana rice.
And you need to put more fire into that aggression. Focus on a few and make sure that we are self-sufficient. You know. And when you look at his plans to ease the cost of living, apart from holding the value of the city, it's going to target housing. So how everybody needs a house. Everybody needs accommodation.
Aggressively building houses.
Yes. It's going to do land banks across the country. So all this business about people getting into land tenure and multiple paying 4 times for the same land and so on, it's going to cease because it's going to buy a lot of land.
Who's going to buy?
I mean, the state
will buy
land and then have the private sector. So when you want to, if you're a big estate developer, you go to the state.
Well, like they do in Europe?
Yes.
Like Regiment Graded
yes.
many years ago.
And then we'll put in infrastructure, roads. Look, if you are going to get it 1 meter down, look at the bureaucracy. And then you're going to get a meter for, say, 200 homes. So we put in the electricity, we put in the roads, we put in the water. And then the private sector will just go in and build. And that will increase the housing stock and also bring the price down. You take electricity, for example. It says, look, I'm going to build solar, 2,000 megawatts. Our consumption of electricity is about 5,000 megawatts. If you have 2,000 coming from solar, that will bring the average price of electricity.
But this solar conversation has started from President Kufuor's time. Dr. Bawumia is not telling us now that we are now discovering the alternative of solar. We have not been able to do it since 2001. What has happened? We've done some. President Mahama told me in a private conversation when he was president that he's trying to get solar so that the ministries areas will all use solar. And I was very excited about it. And that's what Mr. President does. But so we'll do it.
But we haven't been able to do it because Bawumia hasn't been president.
Say that again?
He hasn't been president.
We have not been able to do all these things
because everybody comes, like you're talking about.
President Mahama told me that he was, and he had people, he was doing it. I don't know what happened.
He couldn't do it.
Is it not the cost of money that's excessive? Therefore, we don't have money all the time to do these things.
No,
is it not the money more than the idea?
No. Look, this 2,000 megawatts of solar is going to involve the building of 5 million panels.
Yeah, the cost of it is what?
And we're going to, well, a cost of a panel now should roughly be about 4,000 cities. Because of the dollar.
We are building 5 million.
Because of the dollar.
Yeah.
We're going to produce them in this country. We're going to set up factories that will produce panels that will also create a lot of jobs. But the cost of electricity will come down so much that it will pay for itself. And when you have a panel that can last you for 30 years.
Oh, I see.
You know, yeah. And so it's going to bring the cost of electricity down by bringing in solar into the mix. The mix now is water, which is the hydro, Akosombo and Bui. They'll give us maybe 1,000 megawatts. The rest are the thermals, which are very expensive. So if you have solar coming in, solar will even be cheaper than hydro.
So solar will take care of public institutions, secondary schools,
yes,
universities?
Yes. So that
the government bill goes down.
The main heavy lifting will go to the industries. But for lights and air conditioners and domestic household stuff, it can be powered by solar. And we have the sun. How can Germany have more solar facilities?
Because they have more money. It costs money to do the solar.
But it costs
and we don't have the technology. We are buying the technology from Germany. Germany is not going to sell you their technology for you to compete with them. They'll sell it to you at a very high price.
Solar is basic technology.
It is.
Nothing.
We have not been able to do it.
Compare that to buying a thermal plant.
Well, that's more expensive.
So,
but that's faster. Thermal plants is more expensive, but it can come in 2 months and it's on.
The solar
is going to take a while.
If you install,
not to finish and to install. Is that what a long process?
If you install solar installation, if you install 500 panels on this building, you don't need the grid. And you can install that in 2 weeks.
I see.
Yeah. And then transport is also one of the drivers of the cost of living. It says that we're going to have electric buses for public transport.
I think it's going to come. It's going to start. Senegal have seen this.
Yeah. It's going to come to the ports very soon. And when you have electric bus, it's going to bring down the cost because they don't need petrol or diesel. And those maintenance that come from the combustion engines are all going to go. Which of the candidates has this vision? None of them. John Mahama will tell you, I will do a macro, I will try and get macro, stabilize the macro. He doesn't tell us how. In any case, he's been president for 4.5 years. I heard you talk about 3.5 years of Doomsaw. No, the Doomsaw started in 2012.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Before he became president?
No, when he was president.
Oh, when he was president.
In fact, in his first major address to the nation in September, he told the country about that Doomsaw and some 300 megawatts have been knocked off. I'll send you there.
Oh,
September. Yeah, it's all in there. So it started in 2012.
So it's actually 4 years.
Actually 4 years. You know, so when you look at the programs, the vision that Bawumia has, and you compare it to the NDC NDC's thing is just platitudes. They say 24-hour economy. I don't know if it's a 24-hour economy. Is it a policy or the outcome of a policy?
Sounds more like an outcome of a policy, but
like
clearly they have not been able to position it well.
Policy.
It's an outcome
and what should be the major driver of 24-hour economy? Demand.
People have spoken about it. Demand, industrialization.
And you can't legislate demand.
No.
You have
to create it.
You have to create it. You can't legislate it. And the way when you ask them, say, oh, we'll say watch it 24 hours. As if you can legislate that, hey, watch it
by force, go and sell. Well, government doesn't sell watch it.
Somebody says
individuals sell the watch it.
People will farm because we'll give them electricity. How can you tell people, but when you look at what Bawumia is going to do, when you stabilize the macro situation, that is the first requirement for economic growth and for business growth. This is a Made in Ghana program, which is going to legislate. Those are the things
by Parliament.
By Parliament. Those are the things that will fuel demand. So the concrete things that Bawumia wants to do, those are the things that will stimulate demand and promote 24 hours. Not coming to tell us your vision, and then they say, now they say it's 24-hour nightclub. Is it nightclub, they said?
Okay, but let me flip it. And I hope viewers are sending us text messages. Say, I like the combination of the two. I saw it on CNN. I was going to tell my producer that I do it like that. And I said, so this is the way we will do it. So you and me are there together. So
the split screen.
The screen for us.
Your studio is very sophisticated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Zoom Lion created it for us. Zoom Lion. The guy called Zoom Lion. He saved Metro TV by buying it because it was going really.
I knew the old Metro TV.
Yeah, of course. You were a member. Let me ask you this though.
Let me. You talked about John Mahama and the cool thing.
Yes, the point he made.
I heard you quite upset about it, and you have every right to be upset. But you see, what is even more ominous and dangerous and irresponsible about that statement is that John Mahama is in effect telling the military that why haven't you overthrown the government?
That if it was me, you would have.
You would have. So why haven't you overthrown it? That's what he's telling the military.
Very, very serious.
And it's such an irresponsible statement. And when I heard it, I'm like, wow.
It's political campaign, but that's how I'm saying.
But what you are saying, that you are telling the Ghana military
that move.
Why haven't you moved?
Yeah, because it's overdue. If it was me, you would have done it already.
But in your time, there was no coup.
It means that in his time, the situation was not as worse. That's the point he's making.
What is worse than doing so for 4 years?
That's what we were trying to suggest to him.
What is worse than doing so for 4 years?
Yeah.
When you didn't even have free SHS. What did you have?
Nothing.
What social?
There was freeze on employment.
What social program did you have that could come anywhere near free SHS?
That could cushion people.
Yeah, cushion people. Government spends an average of 3,000 cedis per child in secondary school. That's a lot of money being transferred to ordinary people. What program did you have like that to transfer money and distribute income to poor people like free SHS? An average of 3,000 cedis is what is spent on every secondary school child.
That's interesting. Let's come to the other point.
And you didn't have a coup. And now you are asking soldiers, why haven't you staged a coup? It's such a dangerous statement that I think he should be called upon to
retract. Okay, that's Peace Council and the IEA. You have been a politician before. You know that campaigns are not won simply because you have a good program. Campaigns are won on momentum. You have been in the elections.
Yeah.
You fought 96 elections, you won. You fought 92, you didn't win. You fought 2008 so hard. So hard. I remember in the crisis period, and it's in my book when we're talking about how this election has been lost in Akufo-Addo's old office, Electoral Commission. He said that one of the people he feels sorry for is Nana Akomea. He too, I was there when Brazil was there.
Why?
He said Akomea has worked so hard for this campaign. And we worked so hard. But the defeat comes and we take it like that. I remember that.
Not in 2008. The one we worked hard was 2012.
Maybe it was 12 I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 12. The one that took us election petition.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe it was 12. Maybe it was 12.
We worked hard.
Yeah, that he said that Nana Akomea worked so hard on this campaign.
When I saw Akufo-Addo go into the court, I almost wept.
Knowing how much hard work has been put in.
I mean, even us who were following him, we couldn't keep up.
It was a
walking through every village, climbing every refuse dam to meet people. I mean, it was incredible.
Maybe that was what showed up in 2016.
And when he lost, and I saw him going to court, I almost wept. You know.
But so my question really is: you have seen campaigns won and lost. So that Dr. Bawumia has a great program, might not necessarily translate into a victory. What then is John Mahama's strongest selling point? Because he could also win. You're a politician. I'm asking you this question as a politician who has seen everything.
Well, is the 24-hour economy.
That's the strongest selling point?
That's the strongest selling. What else has he got?
That's the thing he's selling, but is that the strongest point he could sell? Is there something that he's not looking at?
You know, Mahama's weakness is such that it totally overrides his strengths. Simply because he's the only president in the Fourth Republic who was not given a second term. He's the only one. Every president was given a second term. Only John Mahama. Number two, he also had the longest period of any first term president.
Oh, just half. Just 6 months
but
more.
4.5.
Yeah.
4.5.
Just half.
Everybody, 6 months, everybody else had 4 years.
Yeah, but his 6 months, it was a turbulent 6 months. His boss had died. You can't do much. 6 months to election, you can't do much. So you can't add that to him. So what's 4 years? You can say 4 vice, 4 presidents.
He had
8
4.
presidents.
He was sworn in as president in July.
Yes, 24th July. I was there
July.
in Parliament.
And he was as president as
any other person.
Any other time. So he was a full president. So you had 4.5 years. So you had the longest time to show what you can do. And you were the only president who was rejected. And you were not just rejected, you were rejected by the largest margin of any NPP or NDC presidential candidate. It's never happened. Kufuor lost in 1996. It wasn't by that margin. Mills lost in 2000. A million. And even the second loss, that 500,000, is probably the second highest.
The 2021?
Yes. It's still probably the second highest of loss of any.
It was the highest percentage of a second term, because that was better than Kufuor's second term.
Kufuor's second term.
The 51, whatever Akufo-Addo got.
No, I'm talking of John Mahama's loss.
Yeah, I get it. But Akufo-Addo's gain seemed to be a very high gain for a second term president in the history of the Fourth Republic.
Yeah.
It was a very high gain.
Yeah, and so John Mahama's loss was the second highest. And the first was the 2016. Now, you ask yourself why? It's because his performance was so appalling that Ghanaians could not give him a second term. And not just could not give him a second term. He was rejected by the largest margin of any presidential loss in the Fourth Republic. That speaks volumes. And you know...
Yeah, but there's a large voting population who don't know anything about that.
Well, I will remind them.
They don't know. They were not there. They don't see it.
Yes, but
they were 11 years old when Doomsaw happened. They don't really...
We would remind them.
We have to inform them.
Yes. And you know, because he's been president before, all his inconsistencies, are very glaring to anybody. All his inconsistencies. Look, John Mahama poo-pooed LEAP. You remember? He said it wasn't the best way to provide employment. And yet when he came into office, he was touting his achievements in LEAP. That cannot be a consistent leader. He poo-pooed the idea of getting special funds for the North when Akufo-Addo said, we're going to do Northern Development Fund. John Mahama poo-pooed. He said, if you have money, go and pay the toll debt. You remember? And yet when he came into office, he took the idea, called it SADA. And we all know what happened to SADA. It became one of the biggest vehicles for corruption in this country. He poo-pooed the NYEP, the National Youth Employment. He said that this is a palliative. It's not the best way to give jobs to young people. It's not sustainable. And when he came into office, they changed the name from NYEP to JIDA. And we all know what happened to JIDA. It became one of the biggest corruption vehicles that you have in this country. Look, recently, he's talking about laptops to students. He says we are buying votes. You've heard him. And yet, when he was president, he embarked on a large program to provide laptop to students. You remember? With the RLG and so on.
Yes, RLG, yeah.
But today he's saying that giving laptop to students is vote buying. You can't see the consistency of thoughts. Recently he was complaining about pictures on the construction vehicles. Ideally, people should not put their pictures on vehicles procured by the state. Ideally. But these laptops that I'm talking about, John Mahama had his pictures on the laptops.
He did?
Yeah. On the cover. And then when you open it and you plug it, you switch it on, his picture comes first.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Even the e-blocks, he had his pictures on them.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I'll show you.
I've seen the e-blocks. I've not seen his pictures.
I'll show you some.
Maybe during the campaign time they hanged his poster or something on it. Yeah, but that's not that.
So if you have spoken to your people not to put your pictures on them, then you have the moral right to talk about somebody putting their pictures on them. But in your time, you're putting pictures on laptops for students.
Yeah, but people are going to the polls and they are saying that price of ideal milk in John Mahama time was X cedis. Price of ideal milk today is Y cedis. The Y is 4 times more than the X.
That's true.
Yeah, so they are going to vote for John Mahama. So is that not a strong point for him?
Oh, if you see the way they are campaigning, they themselves don't believe people are going to vote for them because the price of milk has gone up.
How do you say that?
Oh, but look at the way that they are so aggressive with their campaigning. I think they went on some large demonstration today.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about it because
so,
you know a lot about these
things.
So
they don't believe in their hearts that people are going to vote for them because the price of milk has gone up.
Yeah, they believe that, but they think the MPP want to rig the election. Rig with the Electoral Commission.
But that was one of the inconsistencies.
Why?
Because we remember John Mahama telling us when he was president that there's no way elections can be rigged in this country. You remember? He said there was no way elections can be rigged.
We have that video, yeah.
Yes, and that the structures that we have in place to manage elections, you cannot rig. Yeah, but even he as president,
yes, he
has no influence in the election.
But the point being made now
and also that the Electoral Commission or commissioner should be given the peace of mind to do their work. They have a constitutional mandate. You can go and state your case, but they have to take, the Electoral Commission has to take the decision. And that demonstrations were not necessary. Today he's embarking on
but the NDC are saying that the Electoral Commission that John Mahama described is not the same Electoral Commission today, that the NPP has bastardized the Electoral Commission, replaced it with party apparatchiks, changed people there, and now made the Electoral Commission annexed to Jubilee House. That's really what the NDC
Look, the
Electoral Commission today, they can't recognize
the Electoral Commission under John Mahama. The commissioner was appointed by John Mahama. There were commissioners who were politically exposed in that commission, appointed by John.
But we didn't draw them out, because now they are saying that there's a particular commissioner for IT, who is a member of the MPP.
Ideally, you shouldn't have politically exposed persons.
Yes, but that's a point.
But I'm saying that
John Mahama didn't have some. Who was it?
He did. There's a daughter of an NDC regional chairman who was on the commission.
Appointed by the president?
Yes.
That's still a bit far-fetched than a party-wielding card member of the MPP as a member of the commission.
But who told you that woman didn't have a party card?
Well, so
her father was the regional. I'm saying.
So what has happened? Has he left the commission? That
yeah, she's left. She's left
after retirement, or she was removed by the processes of Charlotte.
She's no more there.
She's no more
but
there.
She was there. The commissioner.
But the NDC say that the character of the Electoral Commission that they see today, not in terms of behavior, but in terms of characterization, is different from the Electoral Commission that John Mahama said was impartial and election cannot be rigged. This one, they don't trust them. They can rig elections.
But the other parties also saw the character of the Electoral Commission during John Mahama's time in the same light. And remember, the parties joined forces to drag the Electoral Commission to court several times.
Yes, on the Abu
So
Ramadan.
they also saw. So it depends on.
But that's really the difference, and that's why people appreciate what the MPP did. The Abu Ramadan list of cases was a way in which the MPP forced the Electoral Commission in the Supreme Court.
Because we saw the Electoral
Commission
Commission
will not work.
Because we saw the Electoral Commission in the same light as they are seeing the Electoral Commission now.
And your response was to go to court.
Yes.
Not to go on the street.
No.
So what do you make of the demonstrations today? They said they will continue. If the Electoral Commission doesn't come in 1 week, they will continue.
But the thing is that the Electoral Commission is independent. I would like the Electoral Commission to call parties to the table for parties to state their case. I don't like them to be talking at parties. They should be talking to parties. But like John Mahama said, it's an independent institution. And you cannot dictate to them through demonstrations. You have the right to demonstrate. It's not a problem. I mean, demonstrations are also ways that you can express yourself in a democracy. But you cannot force the Electoral Commission to take decisions based on your demonstrations.
But have you heard the NDC's complaint? Have you heard it? They say that the voters register is compromised and that it has people on who should not be on. The Electoral Commission says that that is exactly the reason why the process allows people to come and check. After those checks, they have observed where names are duplicated and they've dealt with it. That NDC should bring any new matter.
Evidence.
They have not yet done so. But they're looking for a external forensic audit. I'm not sure whether I understand that, but you have been doing these things for a while. What is forensic audit of voters register? Are we going to pick each name? Are we going to pick a name at random and find out whether the name Paul Adomotri has been registered in Lejokuku, has been registered in the Dikutupon, has been registered in the Jusu Jabe? How is it? That was a forensic audit. How is it done?
You know, I would not poo-poo the NDC's grievances to the extent that they are a major player in the elections, to the extent that they have grievances. The Electoral Commission should sit with them and look at their grievances. I mean, no matter how
they have done
no matter,
so,
no matter how silly it will sound.
Promise to do so, but the NDC says that anything short of a forensic audit done by external people, they will continue the demonstrations bigger and louder over the weeks to come. But they've given the EC 1 week. After 1 week, if the EC doesn't respond and say, let's do a forensic audit, they're going on.
At the end of the day, if you want to compel the EC, you believe that they are violating some processes or whatever, and you want to compel them, you have to go to court. All the demonstrations that you can do them. After that, you go home.
But we have 2 months
you have
to
go
vote.
to court.
Does the timetable allow a forensic audit? We have 2 months to go to the voting. Today is September, a month from now is end of October, a month from now is end of November.
But I believe,
is 7 December.
I believe the Electoral Commission should meet with them.
And they have said they are willing to do so.
Yes.
They've said it so many times.
Because at the end of the day, you still have to go back to the table. And I look at the attitude the NDC had when in 2015, 2016, other parties were talking about the same thing, raising the same complaints about the register. Remember, Bawumia had a full-blown press conference about the bloating of the register in some of the border areas and presented all of that to the Electoral Commission. What did the NDC say? You remember what they said?
What did they say?
Yeah, they said, look, if I have them here, if
okay, look for it. Let me take some text messages.
Okay. I'll give them to you.
Whilst those who have questions for Nana Akomea, I hope that you have sent them in our text messages. And who should I start with? Answer by you first. Maybe 2 or 3 each.
Okay, from Abdullah Abdul, he says, Dr. Mahama Bawumia's vision and charisma is worth emulating. He also says Nana Akomea is a delight to watch, full of wisdom. Lastly, from Herbert, he says, Nana was my MP when I was in Ghana. I was in Buwashi in Accra. He did wonderfully with the roads and facilities. Over to you, Patty or Ella.
Right, so this is coming from Vonde Jr. And he says, Honorable Nana Akomea, such a fantastic gentleman, reminding Ghanaians about former President John Mahama's inconsistency through storytelling. This man knows his staff. Baah Herbal says, these are the kind of communicators the NDC are lacking, and that's why the insults are too much. Nana Akomea speaks with so much facts and wisdom. May God bless him. Bernard Dancer says, Paul, honestly, Nana Akomea is an amazingly excellent communicator. His level of confidence and his posturing in tonight's interview is very inspiring. All the NPP party communicators must learn from him. Or lest I forget, his honesty leaves much to be desired of a politician. To you.
Right, so this one's from Dash. He says, one thing that makes me love watching Paul is that even though he has declared that he belongs to the right-wing party, whenever he gets the opportunity to interview people in governments of the right wing, he does not hide away from asking questions which are very important and are on the brains of his listeners and viewers. Bold but decisive journalism is what Paul does. Paul, I salute you. Isaac also says, hello Paul. John Mahama has been rejected by Ghanaians and he will be rejected again. He knows that, and that is why he's saying all those things and insulting people. Lastly, you see, he says, Nana is a very good communicator. He should stop going to Good Morning Ghana. Randy is always not fair to MPP and the government. He plays videos of Bawumia, but will not do same when it comes to Mahama. We know Randy and Good Morning Ghana are for the NDC, but he should at least try and be fair when he's hosting, just like you are. All right, over to you, Paul.
Oh, okay. Welcome back. Okay, I've just received the Electoral Commission's the details of what the NDC is complaining about, and they're talking about voter transfer. Oh, okay. Nana Akomea has also sent me the e-blocks. Okay, so yes, it looks like the NDC have sent a full document to the Electoral Commission, and hopefully we get an interview with them and then we can deal with it. But do you think there will be peace around this matter? If the Electoral Commission insists that they are not, will there be peace?
Paul, you know, after the 2000 elections, where there was a genuine fear that President Rawlings hadn't been in power for nearly 20 years. If his party lost, he wasn't going to give power. There was a genuine fear. I had people telling me in my constituency when I was campaigning in 1996 that, look, you are a young man, full of energy. We know you can work for us here. We will vote for you. But we have to vote for Rawlings, because if we don't vote for him, he will bomb the country. And this is North Kaneshi. Accra, not a... So there was a genuine fear in the year 2000 that the strong man Rawlings, is he going to hand over if the opposition won? And you remember there was a lot of exodus from this country by these expatriates. But we went through the 2000 elections peacefully. And we were lauded by the entire world. After that election, any election will be peaceful. All this jostling and this posturing will happen. But I can tell you, any election in this country will be peaceful, including this year.
Finally, let's talk about the running mates, because you know about these things better than many. The NDC running mates is running for the second time. What observations have you made about her campaign?
Nothing inspiring.
Was she better in 2020 than she is now?
The same.
The same?
The same. Nothing inspiring.
But it's a good gender ticket, isn't it?
Yes. It didn't work.
How did it work? We are yet to tell. From
the Ghanaian electorate is such a sophisticated electorate that they will not vote for you simply because you are of the same gender. They will vote for you because they believe you can do something to help them. The Ghanaian electorate, way back, Buzia's time and so on, was described as the most sophisticated electorate in Africa. So these are not people that you throw symbols at. No. So they will vote for you because you are talking to their needs and you are talking to their vision, their own aspirations. Not because you are a woman, or not because you are a man, or not because you come from somewhere or you don't come from somewhere. So, and I don't hear anything inspiring from that woman. If there's anything inspiring, I'll say so. But, she's the one claiming they brought free SHS.
She's withdrawn it. She hasn't formally withdrawn it, but she stopped saying it. She hasn't said she's withdrawn it, just stopped saying it. Your running mate, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh, has had some potholes on the journey.
Yes.
How is that coming up?
Well, he's apologized, you know, and
he has not yet apologized for saying God sleeps at night, except if that was sarcasm.
Oh, that was sarcasm. we all know God as his.
I've heard people say that was sarcasm, but
we all know. But you remember God rested on the 7th day.
Yes, he rested, and I made the point that he was trying to say God rested as against 24-hour economy.
But it's sarcasm.
Yeah.
So, essentially, but the work rate that he's put in since he was nominated is incredible. I am really surprised at the work rate. The people said he's sick because he's lost a lot of weight because of the work rate.
Really?
Yes, he set up a second campaign front, and you haven't been following.
I've been watching the videos, but I've not been to the campaign office.
I mean, the work rate is fantastic. It's fantastic, and we compare it to the NDC, his counterpart in the NDC. There's nothing there. So we must commend him for the work rate that he's brought to the campaign.
Will Akufo-Addo be deployed on the campaign, and when and how?
Well, I mean, Akufo-Addo is the president. Anytime he wants to take part in the campaign, of course, we'll be happy to have him. But he's also focused on delivering his mandate. He's still president for the next 4 months. And he's focused on delivering his mandate, delivering the roads, he's been commissioned a bitumen plant, I think the biggest in the country just a couple of days ago. He's going to be commissioning some of these landmark projects and so on. He's working very hard. When you look at his itinerary, like on a single day, he goes to 4 or 5 different places on a single day. So he's also working the beat as president. But anytime he wants to take part in the campaign, we'll be happy to have him. So
what's going to happen over the next 2 months? What about the debates, the presidential debates? Is the MPP happy to do it and waiting for the NDC to make a decision? I had Mahama Bawumia's challenge on Mahama to
2 days ago, Bawumia was still throwing the challenge. But the NDC, and that's one of the saddest things in this campaign. When you look at the NDC excuses, it's just sad. They said but they won't take part in a debate because Bawumia is a liar. They won't take part in the debate because Bawumia is not accountable. They won't take part because Bawumia hasn't met the press. They won't take part because Bawumia hasn't gone to debate market women. They won't take part because Bawumia hasn't gone to parliament to debate 7 MPs. 1 man, 7 MPs.
Which 7 MPs are they talking about?
Well, they said there's some MPs in parliament. He has to go and debate them. You haven't heard?
I don't understand. Why debate parliamentarians?
Not but 7 MPs.
Is he campaigning in their constituency against them?
But that is what they have said.
Well, but Bawumia has now met the press, hasn't he? He has. Yeah.
They said first he should meet the press, he should go and debate market women, he should show accountability, he should speak the truth, he should go and debate the MPs. Some even said that he's not he didn't call for the debate with respect, that he was rude the way he called for the debate. I mean, it's a joke. And the sheer panic clearly of the NDC at the prospect of a debate between Mahama and Bawumia is almost laughable. And so you see all these small boy excuses coming out. Go and debate market women. Go and be accountable.
But you think the NDC are running away from the debate?
But if they were running away with dignity, I could understand. They are running away in a very undignified manner, saying that you should go and debate MPs in parliament. You should go and debate market women.
Did the NPP and Nana Akufo-Addo run away from a 2016 debate with John Mahama?
What happened?
Some letters were exchanged. Initially, Akufo-Addo said he would attend the debate. And then later he said he would not attend. I studied it at the time. I was of the view that until the debate organizers can correct what happened to Akufo-Addo in 2012 debate with Ayare Kof, then the party should not submit him to the debate. I think some people share that view. A statement was written to IAA that unless you tell us how you're going to get this somebody coughing, we're not going to come.
Yeah,
that's how I think it fizzled out.
I mean, look,
that was the reason the MPP because the 2012 debate had been quite catastrophic.
Yes.
In the Ayare situation.
So.
Yeah.
But Paul, a debate is not by force. Is it by force?
No, it shouldn't.
It's not by force. So if you don't want to debate, just say so. I don't think.
But that's what John Mahama said. I don't want to debate.
But these excuses that go and debate market women, that go and debate 7 MPs in parliament, that you didn't ask for the debate with respect, that your tone wasn't respectful, and some of these funny things.
Well, but I think that
go and hold the press conference before.
No, I think that has come from different people. That's not the NDC's official position. Johnson Asiedu Katia has said, for instance, that Bawumia is a liar. That is still not the position.
Yes, but
they have had Sami Jefi and Co.
That's the chairman of the party.
Yes, rhetoric that go and do press conference. We have done our press conference. So that's not the party's position.
But the party.
Omanebo says something else. But that's not the party's
position. It's not the party's position. What's the party's position? The chairman is the.
John Mahama hasn't spoken yet.
Yes.
And he may just come up and say, I'll do the debate.
Then why allow your chairman and your communications director and all this stuff for Sukwachi and all this to come and talk about no debate? If that is your policy.
Well, I'm sure he's still studying. Why allow them? I'm sure he's still studying.
Why allow them? Do you think if Bawumia wants a debate, he would have me talking about not having a debate? He would call me and say, Nana, no, let's have the debate. Let's support the debate. Now you have your chairman of your party using insulting words on Bawumia simply because he doesn't want a debate. You haven't called him to order. So how can you want a debate and your chairman doesn't want a debate? But I'm saying that if you don't want a debate, fine. But this sheer panic that, well, go and debate market women, go and debate the media, go and debate MPs, show some respect. You are a liar. And so
has the IEA written to the MPP inviting for the debate?
The IEA is going ahead to have his debate.
So if John Mahama doesn't come, what will happen?
Oh, I'm sure Bawumia will be perfectly happy. Because he wants every platform to carry his message.
So he'll go to the debate.
And he believes he has a good
He'll
platform.
go without John Mahama.
Look at the excuse that they gave for, even when we had the press conference. John Mahama came and said, why did we have the press conference on a Sunday?
But his was a Sunday too.
Yes.
His media encounter was a Sunday.
In fact, when one of his people who was parroting what John Mahama said, when he was asked that, but John Mahama too had this on Sunday. He said, well, but he is not president.
I don't understand that. If he's not, Bawumia is vice president.
But you know, when
the opposition can have theirs on a Sunday, but government cannot.
When the silliness gets to a certain point, that is what happens. Now, when you look at some of the excuses that you had your manifesto on a Saturday, 24 hours later, Bawumia has a media encounter. And John Mahama himself said that why should we have a media encounter 24? I mean, if your message is good, it will play in the media and Ghanaians will talk about it. If your message is not good, it will not play in the media.
So the NDC were worried that the NPP deliberately came immediately after the manifesto to take it away from the news. I mean, that's not reasonable.
But that's your Mahama's
journalists will cover what they want to cover.
But you never heard him.
Not quite. But journalists will cover what they want to cover. I mean, but the NPP, NDC knew by the time they were going to do their manifesto, that the next day, I mean, all media knew. The invitation had come out 10 days earlier. So everyone knew that Saturday was NDC's manifesto.
I'll say John Mahama himself took Bawumia on, and that why would you have your media encounter, and that you had a media encounter so you can drown the NDC's manifesto launch. John Mahama himself.
Oh no, you can't drown
it. One of his executives was throwing the same line on radio, and he was asked, but John Mahama too had his press conference. In fact, he said that it was very cruel for the NPP to have the media encounter on a Sunday, because Sunday is a day of rest, and the journalists were supposed to rest and prepare for the week and all of that. Then you go and drag them to a press conference on Sunday. And then he was told, but John Mahama had his press conference on Sunday. And then he said, well, but he's not president.
Anyway, so what's going to happen in the next 2 months? Just walk us through it, and then we can.
What's going to happen? I mean, the response from the ground to Bawumia, Paul, you have to be there. It's not something that should be narrated to you. You have to be there to see it. The grassroots response to him, and I think it's that adrenaline that drives him. You know, because the grassroots response is intense. And if you are a leader, that kind of thing can make you work forever. But the NDC too, they will tell you that they too, their grassroots response is there.
Yeah.
So I believe it's going to be a close election. It's going to be quite close. But clearly, eventually, Bawumia will have the edge because his message is superior. Far superior.
The government said
and
that
also,
was published
once
today.
again, also, John Mahama has had a chance to be president. What the two gentlemen are competing for is the presidency of Ghana. John Mahama has been president before, and by the results of 2016, he failed. Bawumia has never been president. There's this funny thing of ascribing difficulties in the government to Bawumia, which is funny. But he's never been president, no matter what you say. You have been president and you failed. That's why you are rejected. So if Ghanaians are looking for an alternative, they're not going to go to somebody who failed. And then when you look at the vision and the programs that the two gentlemen have, Bawumia's vision is so clear. It tells you how we are going to stabilize the city. It tells you how we're going to increase the tax net. Go and look into the NDC manifesto. They just make the statement and leave it. No plan, no program. So as we propagate the message and bring it to the attention of particularly young people, Bawumia will overcome.
Okay. We'll leave it here. Let's take a last round of text message and then close our show for tonight. It's 20 minutes on top of that, midnight now. Fatih, what are people saying? We are finalizing. We are closing now.
So this is coming from Raymond Enso, and he says the unfortunate aspect of this election is that most Ghanaian voters are not basing their decisions on the genuine issues at hand. If they were, Mahama and NDC wouldn't be so eager to regain power. Now, Bawa Ibrahim says Nana Akomea is a good guy. Samuel Lamte says Nana Akomea is full of knowledge and wisdom. To have him on your show, Mr. Paul, please let him come every 2 weeks. Alhaji Bob Sidi says, thank you, good evening, Ghana, for this interview. 2008 mistakes will never happen, inshallah. Bawumia will break the jinx and retire the incompetent. And lastly, coming from Master Planner Junior, says Nana Akomea is a very good communicator, and communication is Nana Akomea. It is always a pleasure listening to him. God bless you, Nana. What are your first answers about?
Okay, from Herbert Tete, he says, Honorable, you are talking wisdom. Lastly, from Benedanso, he says, Paul, honestly, Nana Akomea is an amazingly excellent communicator. His level of confidence and his posture in tonight's interview is very inspiring. All the MPP party communicators must learn something from him. Oh, lest I forget, his honesty leaves much to be desired of a politician. Over to you, Ella.
All right. So this one is from Aaron. He says, we need to come together as one nation during this critical time and set aside our differences to create a better future for all Ghanaians. Let us not be swayed by empty promises or divisive rhetoric, but instead focus on issues that truly matter to us as a society. And lastly, from Nana Kwame, he says, what is the essence of the NDC's demonstration anyway? As he indicated, the NDC are really Ghana's biggest problem at the moment. All right, back to you, Ernest, before.
Akomea, what's your last word on the show tonight?
You know, there's this, it's just funny. It is hard work, but there's also a lot of fun. Now, President Mahama is complaining that people are not speaking out against the government.
Yes.
That civil society is not speaking out. Pastors are not speaking out. The clergy is not speaking out. The imams are not speaking out. So I asked myself, so then if all these groups don't support Mahama, then who supports him?
No, he said that they're not telling Dr. Bawumia the truth, because the truth is that things are not working, and the ordinary people who are the majority of the voters know, and they will vote for him.
He's saying that if it was if he was the president, all these groups will be speaking out. But they are not speaking out now because they are in bed with the government.
Sort of.
So then who likes John Mahama? Soldiers don't like you. Imams don't like you. The clergy don't like you. Pastors don't like you. Civil society don't like you. So who likes you then? Who likes you? Like everybody is against you. And even soldiers are not staging a coup Because they don't like you. Yeah.
That's what you see from what he's saying.
But what do you see? If you say that if I was the president, soldiers would have staged the coup. What you say, you are asking the soldiers, why haven't you staged a coup now? That's what you're asking them. And the assumption is that because they don't like you, that's why they would have staged the coup if it was you. But you brought 4 years doom song. There was no coup. I mean, the people of this country, we slept in darkness for 4 years. There was no coup. I mean, are you going to talk about the economic hardships? Economic hardship. But we saw severe economic hardships in John Mahama's presidency. I mean, why was he removed? Why wasn't he given a second term? Because of the economic hardships.
So you are suggesting John Mahama knows that he's not polling well in the election? Is that a suggestion you're making? The
sense of panic over Sunday press conference, over debate, and over people not speaking out. The sense of panic clearly tells me that he knows he's way behind. It is not a posture of somebody who's...
Let me ask you on a final block of questions. The survey that was presented by government today, that has been discussed in the media, about 28,000 people being polled, and it has Mahama at 46 something, Bawumia ahead of him at 48 or 49 something. And NDC rejects that, saying that they will win a first round. And the poll also says that what could derail the MPP's chances is scandals and decision making. What do you make of it?
You know, the Bawumia campaign, we treat every poll with an even hand. If the poll tells us we are doing well, it encourages us. Because when you are in the lead, you want to maintain your lead. If the poll tells us that we are not doing well, it encourages us to do more. So we don't worry ourselves with polls. We focus on our work. So when the polls come and people say we are not doing well, if we are doing well, it encourages us. If we are not doing well, it still encourages us. At the end of the day, in another 3 months, the main poll will come. And that is where we are focused. And every day we are working, meeting the grassroots, doing the community outreach. And we are gaining ground little by little. And the message is getting down. And Bawumia tells them, I will be a brand new president. Mahama will be a second-hand president. They say, why is he making that statement? But that's the statement that gets the crowd roaring, because they can see that it's true. That this man has not been tested. The other person has been tested and rejected. You can run away from it.
I have to leave it here, Nana Akomea. It's 15 minutes on top of the at midnight, as always.
Is that so?
Yes, the time runs. Fatih is laughing at you, Nana Akomea, when you say that. Is that so? Fatih is
she's laughing about what?
Fatih is there. Look, you can see.
Why is she laughing at me?
She doesn't know that you know. They've been here since 8 o'clock. So when you say, is that so, like you want to go on, and they are worried that, hey, this politician, why? How does he want to go on like that?
No, Paul, this is the first time I've done an interview at 12 midnight.
I'm sorry.
That's why
we apologize.
It's a first for me. That's why I'm I normally would do Good Morning Ghana.
Yes. That you take
11 a.m.
But that you talk for 2.5 hours on Good Morning Ghana. It's about the same. And when you're on Peace FM, you are talking for 3 hours. On Sepakan show, I've been listening.
But we finish at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm doing an interview at 12
midnight. Yeah, we are sorry about
that. But I'll come again.
You should. We love you. We love you. And then when we put the flyer, many people said they were missing you being interviewed this way instead of the banter on Good Morning Ghana. They kind of like this one. So we'll talk to you again. Good luck with the campaign. Please, when you are driving, please be careful when you're on the campaign.
Thank you.
Sometimes the roads are not, and you guys sometimes you have to go very fast because you have to catch up. So our prayers are with you.
We go by bus.
Yeah, you do the bus thing. Is it nice? Is it comfortable?
Very.
Really?
And the camaraderie. Because you are sitting.
So you're able to hold meetings when the bus is going.
Oh, okay. The Bawumia is there.
So he stands up and starts talking.
All of us are there. You can go to him and tell him you said something here, and I believe you should modify it. And I mean, it's just wonderful.
Oh wow!
Apart from the optics being good.
I would like to film it.
Yeah.
I'll ask them.
I mean, and he will call you and say, "What do you think about what I said at this place? Oh, it was good, but maybe this one or that one." A few things. I mean, it's just wonderful.
I see.
Yeah.
You guys seem to be enjoying it.
Absolutely.
All right, viewers.
Join us sometime.
I will bring my cameras there and see whether I can give viewers a sneak preview of what happens in Bawumia's bars. Nana Akomea has just given us a content idea. Sneak preview, what happens in Bawumia's bars, coming up on Good Evening Ghana very soon. Thanks for watching, viewers. It's always amazing. Good night.